Well, I've had the good fortune to have been able to follow a thread of passion actually for many years across many companies. Originally, I went to school at MIT, graduate and undergraduate. I was computer science and electrical engineering. Joined a half dozen people at a company called Stratacom, and we developed a wide area networking technology. It was called fast packet frame relay technology. Ultimately became broadly deployed globally. We went public in '92, and Cisco bought the company in '96. So I had some financial flexibility. We were 1,000 people. We went public and decided to pursue a passion. And I had traveled a fair amount and noticed this issue of geographic illiteracy in the United States. And so I thought, gee, could we solve this in some way or contribute to a solution? So teamed up with a roommate of mine from MIT, and we developed a means to make a flat or three-dimensional surface, in this case a sphere, touch responsive with high resolution at a low cost. And that means we sprayed the inside of two hemispheres with paint that was conductive, connected it with a processor on a base, used a stylus, and allowed somebody to touch the surface of a globe that would talk to you. So we made a talking globe with a lot of high technology. And won a lot of awards for it, deployed this in specialty stores. And along the way, I had a son who was 4, my daughter was 2, and was watching them learn to read and observed this challenge they had in looking at this black ink as a glyph on a piece of paper and eventually learning that that was a letter, and a letter had a name and a sound, and you blended them to make words. So I developed a means and started I took the technology from Explorer, met with Leapfrog at the time, and sold the company to Leapfrog and created a device called a LeapPad. So from there, you had this tool that had paper, and you could interact with it with a pen and get audio feedback. Went through a couple generations, adding voice, recording, and adding writing. And so migrated to reading, writing, speaking, listening with this kind of static art with kinesthetic feedback and audio, and developed something I called paper-based multimedia. And we were very successful. We think we impacted 100 million kids in about a 5-year period. And we sold $1 billion worth of this product. And it was at that point that I read an article in Wired magazine, and I spotted a company in Sweden that had technology that printed dots on a piece of paper and put a processor with a camera in the tip of a pen, so they could move the pen around the page and track the position of the pen and create digital ink by tracking its position of the pattern. So I licensed it into Leapfrog, developed a pen, which we sold and won many awards for as well. And from there, I started another company called LiveScribe to make a smart pen, one that would allow you to capture ink as you're writing in a notebook and be able to optionally record audio with it and then go back to your notes. The problem we were solving was the issue of if I'm in a classroom or I'm in a high bandwidth conversation, and do I listen or do I write? And each one of these, by the way, there's a common theme. There is a major problem to solve that's very clearly defined. And in this case, and I've skipped the others, but it was very clear. So I made this smart pen and launched the company. Very bad time when the market crashed in 2007, but managed to have success. So we sold the company last year. So more recently, I've started Eyefluence based upon looking at an opportunity to bring something called eye tracking technology to wearable devices, so wearables, and address human-computer interaction, and also AR and VR. So I've been working now for the last few years, having started another company and acquired this technology from a company in Reno, Nevada, we've been advancing basic eye tracking and have built a new interaction model which allows you to do anything you might do with your fingers on a smartphone, but with your eyes in a headset, but to do it faster. For me, it's been an issue, it's been having the opportunity to identify technologies that I think are fundamentally kind of leading, if not bleeding edge technologies that are new enough for which applications really haven't been developed, and where frequently people are kind of struggling to say, how can I use this technology? And I don't develop for technology's sake, but for specific applications.